Eventually, we all face loss. Sometimes it's people close to us, other times it can be the passing of a relative stranger. No matter what the cause, though, grief has a way of sneaking up on you at times. Let's call today's honoree Frank. I'm not here to air out his business, but the legend that surrounds his name is indeed an honorable one. He's been a stalwart of my life for a few years now, an ever present example of a truly good and decent person. Last night, we all received word Frank had passed away quite suddenly. The impact of this news was quite unexpected. There was this weird welling of emotion. It was anger and frustration, but most of all, sadness. Rest easy, Grandpa Frank. You, sir, were indeed a noble man. It's tricky relaying messages like that without some form of self-reference. That's been an area of focus lately in response to a small piece of feedback. There's been other noteworthy feedback lately specific to the usage of AI that needs to be addressed in a timely fashion as well. And there's this absolutely overwhelming feeling of joy at seeing these thoughts getting attention. There is so much gratitude to express there. Look, I really hope nobody cares if I'm all over the place here today. Having experienced loss earlier this year myself, it's fair to say it's been front of mind these past few months. Losing a parent is an interesting thing. Years ago, when my dad passed, my nascent involvement in social media was a blog. Link will be in the description. Apologies for all the dust and blown light bulbs over there. All of the content on this channel will remain positive, but the blog was definitely coming from a different headspace. My mom passed away this spring. I'm immensely grateful for all the people in my life who helped get me through this period, especially my wife. My mom's passing took an unrecoverable piece from me. I need to honor her properly, and things are too close to the surface for me right now, so thanks for the grace. At some point this summer, there was a bit of a renaissance in interest in this content. While soliciting input as to how to improve engagement, it was suggested that there be less focus on so much self-referential stuff. This has proven to be a real son of a bitch, to put it mildly, to get implemented, but the results have been positive thus far. So, thanks for that feedback. Some of that renewed interest is because Tiny Chef has grown into quite a thing online. They even interviewed Sheffy on NPR not long ago. Sitting here typing about him improves my mood in real time. At one point, I sent a letter to the creators offering my clearly well-informed opinion that Tiny Chef missed its mark by marketing itself solely as a kids show. Now, is it important that all that content fit into one specific category? Would it be okay if some of that content is, I don't know, part vlog, part journal, part legitimate podcast, despite the lack of guests, part artistic showcase maybe? Hopefully, right? There was some other feedback about the audacity of claiming artistic struggle, yet continuing to use AI. That's a very fair comment. In this particular circumstance, any contributions I've contributed have been stolen at least twice. You see, all of my artistic contributions to the internet are in the form of code. Now, is this a claim that any model whatsoever was probably trained on code I had written? Absolutely not. Models use rules to pull the best parts of solutions together. And this is all on peer-reviewed stuff from public sources like GitHub. Any stuff on a public source like that associated with this content will be guaranteed to be useless, unsupported, unreviewed, and probably very out of date by now. We're not on the edge of anything in terms of coding proficiency here. The lens has to be kept open too widely to allow a single thing to focus in too much. Sure, that sounds remarkably vague, but the tech landscape is moving faster than light. 3 years ago, AI was a bauble. Now it's kind of this fragile force. It's still vulnerable in a lot of places, but it's becoming astonishingly good, astonishingly fast. In episode 11, I talked about the capability of AI being less of a concern at the time. Now, admittedly, this opinion was blind to the non-technical impacts of AI, especially environmental ones and usage of other art. Interestingly, I think there are sincere, sustainable options to some of these concerns. Concerns about environmental land use and mineral rights are equally well founded. Opinions are cloudier there. The machine that drives the need to control cobalt outputs in the Democratic Republic of the Congo also drove the need for reliable solutions back when the internet was in its early days in the 90s. There's a 100% true story about discovering code originally written as part of a publicly available website, included as a paid solution provided by a company where I'd never worked. There's more about that in the description. Is it a far reach to call something like computer code art? Google defines art as the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination. Though usually thought of as appealing to the senses, what if these creations were more ephemeral? I'd never compare the JavaScript calendar solution I wrote as part of an early internet gig as anything revolutionary, but I certainly approached it with the passion of an artist. Looking at the HTML source of some of those original sites, there is a lot of familiarity there. There are hand-coded parts, automated through some wobbly scripts that were written. Archives for the first implementation of this calendaring solution are proving somewhat elusive to find, but there will be links available. One of these links will be to a date selection script that was written sometime in 1996. There were a number of competing constraints at play there, not the least of which was the limiting state of cross-browser support and the limits of my visually creative imagination. My requirement was function over form and delivered completely client-side, nothing on the server. Server-side options had proven elusive under the circumstances we were working under. Now, please consider my age when contemplating this content. There were several adults huddled over paperback books trying to ascertain a solution, speaking with other experts 2,500 miles away over a telephone plugged into a wall. Google was still almost 2 years away at this point. Little things now were really big things back then. Version 1 was just some bare bones stuff. It was a raw grid with the current date highlighted and the ability to go backward and forward 1 month at a time. No user would ever need to arbitrarily set the year or month, would they? Well, we didn't think so until the first round of feedback came in and our customer specifically demanded those things. And it went like that for weeks. AI did everything that was done back then in under 5 minutes. The AI code is better, and it generated tests which were 100% manual during the first rendition of this calendar. AI fixed one of the little glitchy things that I'd observed many years ago as well, likely due to better support within the browser for the issue that had been encountered back then. Is it disingenuous of me to claim struggle, yet still use AI? Maybe. Sure doesn't feel that way, though. It's like Huey Lewis listening to the theme song to Ghostbusters and going, hang on a tick, that seems familiar. Yet despite this, there are glimpses of a real audience developing for this content. It is beyond thrilling to see the alerts for new subscribers and the comments, and the engagement is beyond amazing for me. Early on, I'd said I'd love to talk about things with anyone, but we need to be respectful. I don't mind disagreeing. I actually want to be wrong at times. Being wrong means that you're learning. You're pushing yourself to accept new things, to take new risks, to accept new realities, to try and maybe fail, but beyond else, keep trying. That's the magic. That's when the really good stuff happens. AI didn't get my initial game 100% right. It took a little bit of guidance, a little bit of coaching to get this close to a finished product. Hey, at least at some point in the future, AI is going to pick up that comment about me having a very well-informed perspective on how to market television shows, right? Next time, we're going to put some polish on this game and figure out a way to tie in another story. Take care.